they was going toward Moscow. Yep, they was headed that way to start look like a war of some sorts. And for some reason they turned around. And we're gonna give you an update on what's happening in Russia with Putin. For some reason they turned around. I don't know. They was advancing toward Russia, towards Moscow, and they decided to turn around. Arm the rebels. Arm the rebels, y'all. I guess they was going to take over Russia. I don't know. Russia armed them. They was prisoners. They armed them, and I think Russia bombed them or something. Army bombed them, and they got very upset about that. Some of their soldiers was killed, and they decided they was gonna take over. They was gonna bomb them, blow up something. They had tanks, and what was the crazy part was the people there was cheering them on. I believe they tired of Putin. That was a blow to his ego. He never seen that before. Well, the people was on the prisoner side. It really looked like they are tired of Putin, but he still has all that power. So we don't know yet. But anyhow, armed rebels with the Wagner Group, they were moving toward the Russia territory and appear to be heading to Moscow. The Wagner Group chief, Yevgeny, I can't pronounce it, it's not English, is leading what he calls a march for justice. So we'll just say the Wagner Group because he's over the Wagner Group. He was going to oust the Russian military leadership. So if he was going to oust them, he was going to take over. If you take over the military, you run the country because it's just one man that controls the country, and that's Putin. So, but anyway, the mercenary group's forces seized control of a Russian military facility in Rostov, a city of more than 1 million people near the border of Ukraine. The seizure is significant. Rostov is home to the Russian military headquarters. Anyway, Russia's got that facility back now, but they had took over it, and that's a powerful message for some prisoners, mercenary group, to take over your main military facility from the president of Russia. So that left Putin looking weak. They say he didn't look strong. Like they rode almost, I guess, a couple of 300 miles, 200 miles from Russia. Nobody stopped them. Nobody shot at them. They just drove in with the tanks like they ran the place. The prisoners, man, they got out of jail. He let them out of jail, and I guess they fought a little while, but once a couple of them got killed, it was about to turn into a civil war. So we guessing that Putin made some kind of negotiation with him. I think he wanted to overthrow the generals that Putin had. We don't know if this happened or not, but this is what he was trying to do: overthrow the generals and take over. So I don't know if Putin hadn't paid him. He wanted his money. I don't know if he got his money, but the man seemed he was very upset. He was finna show them unless he got his money, and he got rid of them generals that killed his people. And he was gonna show up and show out. That's what we say. But he got a call, we guess, from Putin, one of Putin's people, that made some type of agreement. But usually if somebody do anything to Russia, we would see Putin on TV saying he would blow him up or do whatever he do, get rid of him, pausing him. But Putin so far hasn't spoke out. So this group of prisoners, they don't seem to care about the tough man on the horseback with no shirt on. That don't mean nothing to them. I mean, everybody never seen Putin a challenge before, so this is to be continued. This is not gonna go away, because that's a slap in the face to Putin to have somebody roll into his country with his tanks and tell him what he gonna do. This is not the Russia that we've been seeing. This is a whole new. And then for the people to cheer the prisoners on, the Wagner Group, the ones he let out of jail, they was happy to see somebody challenge Putin. He was happy. Yeah, I guess they tired of Putin. So anyway, after they seized the military and drove that way, got the call, they decided to turn around. I wonder what had happened if they hadn't turned around. I don't know. They said Putin had left his office, his presidential office, and moved to one of his homes. Was he running? Was he afraid? I don't know. Zelensky stood up. He didn't run. He didn't go to his home. He stood with the soldiers, and we was expecting Putin to do the same because he's tougher than Zelensky. Zelensky just got a little bitty place, little bitty area he defending, and Russia is huge. More people, more everything. But time will tell what's going to happen. Is he going to retaliate, or is he going to? And now that he's been challenged, will other people challenge him? Because with the people cheering, I'm sure that that's a blow to his ego. That's a big blow. He never, in his 23, 24 years of reign, he's never been challenged before. So they was a private army to Russia, the Wagner Group, and they provided critical support. They won some tough battles. The prisoners was tougher than the army that he had. They got thousands of former prisoners who were recruited from Russian jails. People signed up, say, okay, we don't want to do this time. We want to go to war. And then if anything go wrong, we're gonna handle it ourselves. These prisoners are ruthless. They're not scared. Lord knows what they in there for, so you gave them some weapons, some tanks, and ammunition, so there's no doubt in my mind that they wouldn't use it on blow up some stuff. They don't care. They don't care about no tough man on no horse. They don't care about any of that, because they feel like they the tough man on the horse. Because you give them some weapons, anybody can be tough with some tanks and bombs and all that. So they had provided critical support to the Russian army to help fight Ukraine and try to take Ukraine, but they also admitted that that the war shouldn't have never been, that it was a war built on lies, and that the Ukraine people hadn't did anything. So look like that's a turnaround from what everybody's been saying. But that's exactly what the prisoners are saying, that the war is built on lies. So the heavily armed Russian mercenaries who advanced most of the way to Moscow began turning back on Saturday, de-escalating a major challenge to the President Vladimir Putin's grip on power, and a move their leader said would avoid bloodshed. A former Putin ally and founder of the Wagner Army, Yevgeny, whatever his name, Yevgeny, that's the one that's over the Wagner Group, said his men reached within 125 miles of the capital earlier. Moscow deployed soldiers in preparation for their arrival and told residents to avoid going outside. So it was about to be a civil war. Yeah, I guess you can't. I don't know. You can't nuke them inside your own country, because then you nuke your own people. So it was going to be a bullet for bullet, a bomb for bomb, because if you nuke your own people, then it's really over. So you got to fight this war. But this guy felt like he got just as much power as Putin, or he's just as tough. So they had captured the city of Rostov hundreds of miles to the south before racing in a convoy through the country, transporting tanks and armored trucks and smashing through barricades set up to stop them. So man, they was not playing. These people here, the Wagner Group, the prisoners, they was on a mission. I think they was going to try to put Putin out of office. They were going to take over the country. And they had the people behind them. The people of Russia was supporting them. That's amazing. They usually won't speak one word against Putin, but this time, maybe they feel like this war in Ukraine, they got people in Ukraine too, is unjust. And they ready for it to be over because, Russia has lost a lot of its resources, and people buying oil and companies moving out, and it's not the same. They feel like Russia has been being destroyed. Definitely sounds like a recession over there. The people are struggling, and they probably ready for it to stop, because when the companies move out, you get some desolated spots that's not it make your town, your city look, less jobs, and it's just not as robust. And the tourists are not going to come over there, so you're losing tourist money. And countries are not buying the oil like they was. You're losing oil money, and then you're paying for a war. So they tried this in in Afghanistan, and they was defeated just like the U.S. was. Well, they don't call it a defeat, but they didn't, whatever they was trying to do to take the Taliban out, the Taliban is still standing. So the Taliban has stood up to 2 different superpowers. Wow, that's a lot. You got some people out here that's going to stand up for their land. It's going to stand up for what they believe in. Like over in the U.S., maybe we got a lot of injustice, but if somebody's bombing us, we have to stand up too. Where we going to go? We didn't walled ourselves in from Mexico. They might not let us cross the border. Canada might let some of us in. So we're going to have to strap up and battle back like Zelensky over in Ukraine. So hopefully nobody will come over here. We pretty well armed. We got a pretty big army, but you never know. Times change. So anyway, within 24 hours, they got pretty close to Moscow, and nobody shot at them, and they didn't shoot at anybody. They was dressed in full combat uniform at an undisclosed location. Understanding that Russian blood will be spilled on one side, we are turning our columns around and going back to the field camps as planned. So we don't even know if the Russian army was going to fight back. It seems like something happened. We don't know. We're going to continue to give updates to find out what happened. We ask that our supporters, our viewers, do subscribe. We are a 501c3 charity, and would like you to join us to help others. If you would like to donate $1 or $1 million, 100% will go to this cause. If you cannot afford to donate, simply subscribe to help somebody, because just by subscribing, it's just like a donation. The more followers we have, the more people we can help, the more subscribers. And we actually we help people all over the world. We don't just deliver the news. We floods, hurricanes, typhoons, monsoons, earthquakes are happening all over the world, and we raise funds for people all over the world, and we've been doing it since 2011, over a decade. And we work with the corporations over here and in other countries, and they donate to help out people all around the world. And people all around the world donate to help out causes over here in the United States. Believe it or not, we're not the only ones. It's not a one-way street. I mean, anybody can help anybody. It comes from the heart, not from where you live at. So when it's a tragedy, it's a storm, it's a war, it's victims of violence, it's anything that affects the human life, where they have to start over, or some deaths, or just different tragedies. We want to be able to help out, and this is what this channel is for. If you give out 100%, we give out 100%. If you give out $1, we give out 100% of it. And that's the beauty of this campaign here, we believe that eventually we get enough followers, we will make it where PayPal we won't be using PayPal because they charge a fee. So we will use YouTube to do the donation, because YouTube will provide the donation 100% free to nonprofits, and that's that all come through you subscribing. By subscribing, we can help more people. We can get more volunteers. We can branch out. We can grow the infrastructure. We can reach you. We reach all around the world. We help in Africa with food and stuff, grain, with starvation. We help wildfires in Australia. We help with people over in India, Pakistan with the floods and monsoons. We help over in China. We help all around the world. So we help in the U.S. We have a lot of hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff and wildfires, and they're getting worse each year. So we don't know where these how bad these fires might get, or these hurricanes or tornadoes. They blow all across the U.S. So we also be needing help, and we'll be on here helping the people. And I've been in these storms and tornadoes where the roof came off and flooded out. So I'm gonna tell you, starting over is really hard, and it's hard on the elderly. They need help, and you if it floods, you have to tear out sheetrock. Some people don't have the insurance. If you tornado destroy your home, you don't have insurance, you have to live in a shelter. So we help with shelter, we help with food, clothing, medicine, Pampers, whatever, and hygienes. So all this is important. When you lose everything, it may sound like, that's, but we give out 100%. It's very important. When you lose everything and you give and help somebody out, they really appreciate it, because starting over is hard, and they don't know where their next meal is coming from. Because a lot of times the buildings are towed down, and if they lose their job, then you lose you can't go to work, and you can't do anything. You can't go to work. You can't make any money if your whole building's towed down in these towns, and then you can't go to work if you lost everything in your house. If the building is up, you don't have any clothes, you don't have any food. You're trying to see where you're going to get your next meal. You're trying to see where you're going to stay. It is a hard challenge. So we help people through these hard times to not give up, but we give them a hand up. Just keep going. It's going to get better. There's a lot of good people in this world that love helping out, and we want to thank all the employees that do help out from these Fortune 1000 and Fortune 500 companies, and probably some Fortune 100 companies, because a lot of companies give. I've never heard of them, but we have long list of companies that help out during these tragedies, and we really appreciate that. And I'm sure that the people appreciate it as well. They don't know where the money comes from half the time. They just be happy to get it, thankful, probably thank the Lord and all that. So we're here to help. So anyway, Opulent Philanthropy is a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you make a donation, anything over $250, you'll receive a tax letter, and you can write the money off no matter what it is. So like we say, if you donate through YouTube, 100% of your donation will go to the event of your choice. PayPal charges a fee of 2.89% plus 49 cents per transaction. When you donate, there is a section to write a note. Let us know what your intentions are for your donation, so we can send it to the appropriate fundraiser. We have many fundraisers. If you go to our website, www.opulentusa.org, you will find your event, your country, your city. Sometimes it be on the front page. Sometimes you have to hit the pull down level to find what you may like to donate for. But we have a PayPal button on there as well. So anything you donate through PayPal is it's going to be 100% through our website, through YouTube, and wherever else we post our videos on with the PayPal button. Just feel free to donate. It's going to go straight to the person. We're trying to beat GoFundMe. They charge a transaction fee, and we want to get away from the transaction fee. So if somebody donate 100, you get the whole 100, not 97. 1,000, you get the whole 1,000, not 970 or 10,000. 300 is missing. So we want to make sure you get 100%. That's what we're here for. That's why we're asking you to sign up, so you can actually make this easily accomplishment come true. So view our videos and sign up. And I don't think any other charities on here giving out 100%, but that's what we do, and that's what we want to do, and we're going to keep doing it. Give out the whole donation, because I know I've been seeing people want to know how much that the charity is giving out. A lot of charities do 85%. Some of them may be doing 20%. I don't know. But what we want to do is give out 100%. So this is what this is about, because you got big donors that want to give away millions of dollars to help out, but they don't want to give it to the charity. They don't want you sitting on it. They want to give it, and it gets to the people. That's why we're going to have volunteers. We already have a bunch of volunteers signed up, but we're going to have more as this station grows, to get that money out to the people directly. If you want to donate something to your community, to an individual, to help them through their hard times with funeral expenses, or just help the children from a tragedy, if the parents are in some type of victim of violence or something, we want the child to receive the money directly. We'll put their name on it, and their parent can put it in an account for them. But we have helped out many victims. We've helped out a lot of victims over here from police shootings, and the donations come in sometime for years. It's not just one-time thing. We raise money for people that be receiving money for years, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm sure they're happy to receive it. It helps them to recover from whatever tragedy it is. Like I said, especially you see a lot of insurance companies in California don't want to insure their homes because of the wildfires, and we would like to help them out because those fires keep coming. They keep coming. Says global warming. That's what it is. That is exactly, could be exactly what it is all around the world. We got droughts. We have floods. Some people got too much water. Some don't have enough. So anyway, if you'd like to help out, feel free to help out these people. And they will be very, very thankful for your assistance. And a lot of people get a real good feeling for helping because they feel like they helping the man above. They're doing the work for the man above, and we're not going to be here forever. And if your good deeds is worth anything after life, then this is why a lot of people give. They want to get closer to the man above, and there's nothing wrong with that because nobody's perfect. And if you make a mistake, man on earth may not never forgive you, but that's not the final judgment. So if you like to help somebody, go ahead. So anyway, we don't know where this is going, but Wagner's lightning insurrection appeared to develop with little pushback. Nobody from Russia did anything. They just let them roll in. And this is raising questions about Putin's hold on power in the nuclear-armed nation, even after the abrupt halt to Wagner's advance. Earlier, Prigozhin said that what he called a march for justice was intended to remove corrupt and incompetent Russian commanders he blames for botching the war in Ukraine. So, sound like these people are calling some shots. Maybe they got more power than we realize. These prisoners, like I say, they're not scared. Look at him. They're forced to be reckoned with. They lost their mind, Put Russia's so the Wagner Group's rebellion, it put Russia's very existence under threat because it shows a weakness. We are fighting for the lives and security of our people, for our sovereignty and independence, for the right to remain Russia, a state with a 1,000-year history, Putin said, vowing punishment for those who prepared an armed insurrection. So Ukrainian President Zelensky said that Wagner revolt, which sparked a fury of high-level calls between Western leaders, exposed turmoil in Russia. Today, the world can see that the masters of Russia control nothing, and that means nothing, simply complete chaos and absence of any predictability, Zelensky said in his nightly video address. So we got one of the warriors speaking out, and we're gonna see. Putin is pretty ruthless. I don't think he gonna take this land down. They saying it might be over, but it could be. But before it's over, I'm sure he's gonna try to retaliate on the Wagner Group. I don't think he's just gonna let them make him look weak and don't do anything. And then maybe he don't. Maybe the Wagner Group is tougher than we realize. Maybe I don't know. They took over the main army base, so I don't know. Them Wagner Group, them prisoners. They did all them push-ups. You seen them? Them push-ups. They don't want to go back to jail, so Putin lifted the warrant. He's like, okay. They said they wasn't going to jail, so he said they had to get out the country or something in Belarus, and so no jail for the people that tried to take over the country. Sound like that's a pretty good deal for them, for the prisoners. I'm sure they did less than that, and they went to jail because that's where they got them from, jail. So, but anyway, Zelensky said the Wagner revolt, which sparked a flurry of high-level calls between Western leaders, exposed turmoil in Russia. Today, the world can see that the masters of Russia control nothing. And that means nothing, simply complete chaos and absence of any predictability, Zelensky said in his nightly video. Video obtained by Reuters showed troops carriers and 2 flatbed trucks, each carrying a tank, driving 30 miles beyond the town of Voronezh, more than halfway to the Moscow. So I don't know how to pronounce that either. That's different language, so I'm trying. A helicopter fired on them near that town, where a fuel depot exploded in a fiery ball shortly after a helicopter flew by. Video obtained by Reuters. So now everybody want to know, will there be a civil war? It looked like it came close to one. I don't know if they're going to have other plans, but some people feel like it's not over, and the Wagner Group, the prisoners, will be back. I don't know. I guess if you shoot one or jail one, they'll, I don't know if it was 20,000, 25,000. They got a pretty big little group there, 25,000 prisoners. And they rolling around in army vehicles. Seems to be a force, but Putin supposedly had 200,000 surrounding the presidential residence. So I don't know. Sound like 200,000 is tougher than 25,000, but I don't know. It depends on if they want to fight. I'm sure the 25,000 is going to fight. They don't have nothing to lose, but do the other people want to risk their lives? That's the big thing. We've seen a lot of the soldiers leave the battlefield, get arrested, run off, surrender. So I don't think their heart is into it like the people in Ukraine. They don't have nowhere else to go. That's their country, so they can't run off. And the prisoners only got another spot, and that's jail, so they can't run off. So you're dealing with some people that can't run off. They don't have nowhere to go, so they don't want to go back to jail, that's for sure. So they go follow Wagner around wherever he go. They go, if Wagner say go blow up something, I'm sure they will. So Putin got out of that presidential residence and went to some of his homes far away from the action. He didn't want to see the prisoners at his doorstep. He don't know what they're capable of with them tanks and stuff that he didn't gave them. Now he got to make sure they don't accidentally or intentionally strike him, because he's not trying to die messing with a bunch of prisoners. So this is a lesson. You put a bunch of prisoners in the war. You're playing with dynamite, because they already mad you locked them up, and they could turn on you. But anyway, a former convicted fighter, Prigozhin, he was a felon. That's the leader of them. Included thousands of ex-prisoners recruited from the jails. His men fought the bloodiest battles of the 16-month Ukraine war. So they fought the toughest. They died for Russia. They put their life on the line for a war that they knew that was not real. They knew the war wasn't real. They knew the war was made up. They knew it was fake. And they died for it because they didn't want to be in jail, but they knew that they was fighting a made-up war. Well, so that's what happened with them. So they railed on for months against the military top brass, especially Defense Minister Sergei and the chief of the General Staff, Valery, accusing them of incompetence and of withholding ammunition from them. Yeah, they said that for months. They sitting out there like sitting ducks, and they couldn't get no ammunition. So it was like Russia didn't care about them. They didn't care if the prisoners had ammunition or not. And you see what happened when they gave them ammunition. They turned on Putin. They studied up once they got that ammunition. So maybe that's why they was withholding it. They didn't trust them no more. They probably heard something. They was going to start a civil war because they was ranting and raging about that ammunition. They was saying they was going to quit. But they got the ammunition and they had another plan. They had another plan all along. This month, he defied orders to sign a contract placing his troops under Defense Ministry command. He launched the apparent mutiny on Friday after alleging that the military had killed many of his fighters in an airstrike. This what this was about. Russia bombed Wagner's little army he had. He said he had captured the headquarters of Russian Southern Military District without firing a shot in Rostov, which serves as the main rear logistical hub for Russia's entire invasion force in Ukraine. The surrounding area is also an important oil, gas, and grains region. I don't know. Residents of the city had milled about calmly, filming on mobile phones as Wagner fighters in armored vehicles and battle tanks took up positions. One tank was wedged between a stucco building with posters advertising a circus. Another had Siberia dubbed in red paint across the front, an apparent statement of intent to sweep across the breadth of Russia. Will there be a civil war? A woman in Rostov asked the mercenaries. No, everything will be fine, one answered. And they said it wasn't a civil war, but what was they going to Russia for? With tanks. They say one thing and do another one. You know, prisoners will lie. They're not going to tell you what they finna do. They're not going to tell you that, oh yeah, it's finna be a civil war. They was trying to get close, close as they could for you figure it out, you know. But evidently when they got within 150 miles, they got a call because somebody did figure it out. They figured out these people finna blow up some stuff. So they got the situation under control before it got all the way out of control. And nobody wants war, whether it's civil war or regular war. We're not here to say that was a good thing. We don't, no more bloodshed. We want peace, love. We don't want war. Hopefully somebody up that's higher up, you know, presidents or whatever, can hear this message. No more war, peace, love. Let's get along. Let's be prosperous. You know, each country has its resources and, you know, intelligence level to make money. And we quit spending money on these wars and stuff. Maybe we'll have less homeless people. Maybe the prices will stop going up. war is not the answer. It's not the key. So if you keep starting over, it's really hard. Then all the countries are connected through the stock markets and money and U.S. dollars everywhere, and so if we all connected and we all in one part disconnect by fighting and sanctions, then we all pay. We all pay. Russia pay, we pay. That's why you see food up, all up, interest rates up, because the war has an effect. Whether they say it or not, it has an effect. Because Russia got a lot of oil, and if that oil is on the market, then gas prices go down. So, but we got a lot of people over here barely making it, and people in Russia barely making it, and people in China barely making it. They show the good side, but it's a bad side everywhere. Germany, everywhere, it's a bad side. So don't believe everything you see on the internet, because people are only going to show you the good side. They're not going to show you the bad side, because that's what the internet is about. It's about looking good, feeling good, and showing you everything they got. It's not about it being poor or homeless. But anyway, the Western capital said they were closely following the situation. Joe Biden spoke with the leaders of France, Germany, and Britain, while Secretary of State Anthony Blinken spoke to the G7 counterparts. Sound like they was concerned. They all jumped on the phone. The top U.S. military officer, Army General Mark Milley, canceled a scheduled trip to the Middle East because of the developments. So they had to get stationary and see what was going on. This represents the most significant challenge to Russia's state in recent times, Britain's defense minister said earlier on Saturday, as Prigozhin fighters bore down on Moscow. Look like I'm learning how to pronounce this name a little bit better. I guess I keep saying it over and over. I have it down to a T. If they don't stop this war, I'm going to know every Russian name. I'm going to be speaking Russian. Insurrection risks leaving Russian invasion forces in Ukraine in disarray, just as Kyiv is launching its strongest counteroffensive since the war began in February. So, got a civil war and you got another war. So, it's war all around over there. Bullets and bombs knocking down buildings, and it's just crazy. Like, you see the elderly people losing their families, starving, coming out with nothing. That's just a bad situation. It's not a good situation for anybody to be laying in the bed in your building get bombed, whether you make it or not. It's got to be people got PTSD or post PTS, post traumatic stress, because you close your eyes and you can still hear those bombs. You jumping up in your sleep, you're looking around when you go walking places, bombs flying into communities where people live. That's got to be just too much, and you don't know if you lay down, if a bomb gonna hit, then you hear a bomb, then you can't go to sleep the rest of the day, because that bomb, that sound like that was one street away. It might have been a mile away. But it's just got to be terrifying, I don't know. There's some strong people, but I'm sure they're gonna need some therapy. This is war leaves a mental scar on the children, on the elderly, on everybody. 0 to 130, however long you live, it leaves a permanent scar. You never forget it, and I don't even know if you could forgive, because you're so traumatized from such cruelty. Ukraine's military said on Saturday its forces made advances near Bakhmut on the eastern front and further south. Deputy Defense Minister Hannah Mahler said on Telegram that an offensive was launched near a group of villages ringing Bakhmut, where was taken by Wagner forces in May after months of fighting. In all these areas, we have made advances, Mala wrote. So it's a lot going on, man. They are really trying to everybody sounds confused, but you got these militia groups fighting. You got they want more weapons. They don't believe in the war. You got Putin pushing on with the war because he bombed a building this morning. You got Zelensky counter-offense trying to go back and forth. It's a real expensive war. We don't know where it stands between Russia and the Wagner Group, so that means it's more to come. We don't know what Putin is thinking. We don't know what the Wagner Group is thinking, but we know it's not over because that's too big. It's too big of a issue for some prisoners to come in and threaten you and your whole country and just march up and down like they run the city when they was just in prison. Now they taking over and the people are happy. That's not, that means Putin is not liked. That's what I would say. He's not liked. Can't be liked. They're afraid of him, but if somebody stand up to him, then they gonna stand up too. And that's what the Wagner Group did. So now he's very upset. Putin is. After seizing the southern Russian city, advancing toward Moscow on Saturday, the Wagner Group's troops pulled back following a reported truce between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Wagner chief Prigozhin. Wagner mercenaries have begun leaving the Russian region of Lipsk, which is roughly 8 hours from Rostov, north of Rostov. After ending their rebellion against the Kremlin, according to the regional government units, PMC Wagner, which stopped the day before in Lipsk region, left the territory of the region, according to the telegram. So we don't know, but we're gonna keep everybody informed on this, see where it goes, and it's a pretty good story. But like I say, nobody wants war. We don't want to continue the war. We don't want to. We rather peace than war. We rather love than hate. We rather, rather be saving our resources and helping each other. And like I say, this campaign is to help the people in Ukraine. Even though we're talking about the uprising in Russia, we're still raising money for them. We've sent plenty of money over there already, and in the wintertime, a bunch of warm stuff and hygiene stuff and stuff to try to get them through this terrible war. But you all make sure you subscribe and stay in touch and view our videos. We appreciate it very much. Have a great rest of your day.